Oh, with that ding, we are on the air. It is 10 o'clock on the west coast of the United States. It's 0500 GMT. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early if you're in the GMT time zone. I'm Sebastian. Welcome to cBas After Dark for the 21st of April, 2015. It's just about 0501 now, actually. 10:01 on the west coast of the U.S. I love giving the time for both the California time zone as well as the world's standard time zone, and it's Game Show Tuesday. Dun, 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 dun. Man, do I need an opening bit of music or a little video graphic to play or something over that, because wouldn't that just be the ultimate thing? Just plugging the show a little bit. Let's get to it. Game Show Tuesday. It's going to be a barn burner. We got a lot coming up, including the very first episode of What's My Line from February 2nd, 1950. Bad lighting. It doesn't look like it's got all of the people we love on the first episode. We're going to have the 5 biggest cheaters in game show history. That's an article from the folks at cracked.com. It's an article I have kind of a problem with in some ways, which is why it's important to talk about. Also, we'll look at the game show called Go, hosted by, what's his name? Jim Peck. We'll look at the game show, the other game show, You Don't Say, which is also hosted by Jim Peck. Actually, I'm sorry, Kevin O'Connell hosts Go, and the other one by Jim Peck. Let's just get to it. By the way, you can call, you can tweet at this unfortunate purple Twitter account or this semi-fortunate red telephone number that you see here. Let's switch over to the wonderful folks at YouTube. Hopefully, this won't get me shut down. It's gotten me muted. It's gotten me blocked in some countries in the past playing game shows with you. But they're the ones that are currently on TV for the most part and currently have active copyrights that are sort of bothering people in some ways. So when I played 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, boy, did the Endemol people not like that. Let's see, other game shows I think have gotten me kind of shut down as well. I think all the stuff from today is completely out of print, out of even reruns as far as the Game Show Network is concerned, kind of a thing. So hopefully we're not going to have to worry about too much being taken away from us here. Let's look at it. This is actually from the What's My Line YouTube account, and it looks like the debut show. And part of the thing I like here is the comments, because you can see here the comment on Google Plus. Today, we're beginning a rewatch of the entire series, 1 episode every weekday in broadcast order, with new extras videos still to come on weekends. An upgraded copy of the debut episode kicks things off. This is only a day ago, so this is pretty current. They're going to post a link to the weekday rerun episode in the Facebook group. If I'm not a member, subscribe on the WL channel here. You'll be able to follow it. So if you're a game show nerd like me, you may want to go ahead and follow this account as well. And I love that there's people, one of the only places I've never seen like hatred or, bad spelled comments. This is all really smart people, it looks like. And, people who are on topic and interested in the topic and not interested in spreading hate or, shitting on anything. They're just interested in talking about the game show. This person commented, let's see, view the replies here, if I may. Thank you for posting these. Excitedly looking forward to this and what we've got coming. A number of good upgrades to come. So many of these episodes have been on YouTube in the past. They talk about Gil Fates in his What's My Line book, reporting that an actress named Arlene Francis was involved in the development stages as early as November 49. However, for some scheduling reason, she wasn't available for this first broadcast that we're about to watch. Also, the other thing it says in the What's My Line book, apparently, Gil Fates, the producer, watched this kinescope a number of times to figure out why CBS ever encouraged the Goodson Todman to make another one. He complained the set was lit like a police lineup. It is. John Daly was uncomfortable. He does have an expression at the very end suggesting he survived a siege. The panel was inept and unfunny. That comment was downright rude. They were all reasonably amusing. They solved the occupations. So before reading the rest of these, let's just watch it and see if we can enjoy ourselves.
Spotting people, if you're a good judge of human nature, you'll want to match skills tonight with our panel of experts as we invite you to play What's My Line? Now, let's meet our lineup of distinguished personalities whose lines you probably already know. First, the distinguished neuropsychiatrist, Dr. Richard Hoffman.
And to my right, my favorite eminent poet, anthologist, and perpetual boy scholar, Louis Antoine.
An error occurred. What the hell happened?
Thank you for adding the scholar. I was a little bit worried about that perpetual boy. But here to my right is my favorite Broadway columnist and girl about town, Dorothy Kilgallen.
Okay, so Dorothy's there. I love Dorothy Kilgallen.
That wonderful Toastmaster, raconteur, and former governor of New Jersey, Harold Hoffman.
Dorothy's the only one I've heard of.
Thank you, Dorothy, for not pronouncing that racketeer. And we have here the distinguished news analyst, commentator, and our moderator, John Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. In fact, welcome to our premiere telecast of What's My Line. And I certainly hope our distinguished panelists, members of our panel tonight, are going to do a fine job of human analysis. In other words, be able to answer the question, what's my line? Now, to start things rolling, I'd like the panel to meet our first challenger, whose occupation it's their job to ferret out. Will you sign in, please, Miss? Pat Finch. Pat Finch, will you come over here, please, Miss Finch? Well, it is Miss Finch, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right, now, first of all, tell us where you live.
I live in Manhattan.
You nervous, Pat?
Just slightly.
Oh, don't be. Take a look at the panel. You haven't got a thing to worry about. Now, one thing the panel wants to do is to get a closer look at you. So would you please walk over to the end position, Dr. Hoffman's position, and any reasonable requests they make while you meet. If they'd like to look at your hand or anything like that.
A finch may be a bird, may be a fish. Go ahead, John. Would you do a kick for me?
Would you do a kick for me?
This is a very great start.
Tell him no. The
Right,
hell
now,
with
Miss Rudd,
you.
You can do the kick. We'll accept that. How about you, Miss Rundemeyer?
Would you just come a little closer in a nice way? Is that which I am inhaling? Is that arpege or my sin? I mean, my sin in a perfume sense.
Neither.
Well, I've lost
All
that.
right, Miss Kilgallen, you have a chance.
Is there a label in your shoe? Yes, there is. Could I see it, please? If it wouldn't be embarrassing, I mean.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very nice label. We won't say it out loud. I'm going to think, what about you, Governor Hoffman?
Miss Finch, would you balance this book upon your head, please? And walk.
Oh, that's very good, Pat. I think that's enough of that. Miss Finch, come over here and sit down next to me, if you will, please. And now I tell you what happens at this point. We left the panel on the basis of your handwriting, what you've said, how you said it, and a close look at you. Take one wild free guess as to what your line is. We'll begin the wild free guesses with Governor Hoffman.
But don't you think, Mr. Daly, you should first tell us whether she's self-employed?
Oh, I might tell you that later on. You go ahead and take your wild free guess.
All right. The way she balanced that book, I think she's a bookkeeper, an erratic bookkeeper.
An erratic bookkeeper. Well, what about you, Miss Kilgallen?
I think she's a student of the drama.
A student of the drama. Miss Rundemeyer?
I think she gathers statistics for rain in North Dakota.
Oh, no, you wouldn't want her to go to North Dakota. What about you, Dr.
Well,
Hoffman?
in view of the fact that she thought her skirt was embarrassing her kicking, I still believe she belongs to Terpsichore.
To Terpsichore. That must be the other side of Great Britain, undoubtedly. But anyway, you're all wrong. And now that we have had some wild guesses, I want our viewers at home to get a really close look at Miss Finch. At the same time, they will find out exactly what Miss Finch's line is, but the panel will not. Now, panel, you know the rules. Individually and in turn, you can answer or ask questions, and as long as you get the answer yes, you can continue. You get an answer no, it costs the panel $5, 10 no's, and the panel has lost the game, and Miss Finch wins. As many times as you get an answer no from her, Miss Finch will gather $5 into her treasure chest. Well, now that we've got this, we'll give the panel one more bit of help, if you don't mind, Miss Finch. We'll tell you that she is salaried. We'll move from the particular to the general, and we'll begin the general questions with Miss Kilgallen.
Oh, are you engaged in selling services as opposed to products? Yes, I am. Does the employment take you from place to place? No. You remain static.
1 down and 9 to go. And Mr. Upman.
Miss Finch, you sell services in one particular place, I gather. Should I say a very particular place? Or isn't it? It is a very particular place. That is, it is a particular location. In this location, do people pay to look at you?
Well,
I'll answer that question for Miss Finch. They don't directly pay to look at her, but
No.
a man would be an idiot if he didn't think that was part of what he was saying.
I will take that hint, Mr. Daly. A man would be an idiot not to look at her. Do more men look at you than women in this very particular place?
yes.
They do. Can't understand that. Is your field entertainment rather than education?
Well, no.
No, 2 down and 8 to go. You got rather far afield there, I'm afraid, Mr. Undermeyer. Dr. Hoffman, we now get to you.
Well, I don't think she has to work at entertaining. Looking at her is entertaining. But do you work in a field where your beauty contributes to your ability to earn a salary?
Yes, I would say so. Yes, don't be misled too much, but the answer would be yes.
Do you sit at your work?
No.
I will accept the question as not having been asked and say that she would sit some of the time, stand some of the time. You can go ahead, Dr. Hoffman.
Do you work for more than one person?
No.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, I believe. Now, Governor Hoffman, it's your turn. You're on the block.
Are you, in your present occupation, generally attired as you are at present in the same style and street clothes?
No.
No, she is not, but I don't think it would be fair to strike you out in the questioning for that. She could, by some stretch of the imagination, wear ordinary street clothes, although she would have to tend to...
Do you generally wear a uniform or costume?
Yes.
Are your services performed in a theater?
No.
That is 4 down and 6 to go, and Ms. Kilgallen, you have a chance again.
Is your profession one that is usually regarded by young girls as fairly glamorous? Yes. Does your profession require any particular specifications as to height, weight, etc.? No.
That's 5 down and 5 to go, and Mr. Undermeyer, I hope that you can prune this tree a little bit.
In your particular profession, do you deal with more men than with women? Deal is not the right word. I should say, do you care more for men? I don't mean do you care more. I'm terribly sorry.
That's all right.
Do you take care of men or any parts of their possessions or things like that?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Consultation, please.
You can have 20 seconds for consultation.
We are of one mind here. We are of one mind here that it might be something in a restaurant. A hat check girl, says my
Would you like to put the question?
Are you a hat check girl?
Yes, I am.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Undermeyer. Miss Finch is a hat check girl in the Sports Club, Carol. I thought perhaps a couple of old rounders like Drs. Hoffman and Poet Undermeyer would know her on sight. Well, congratulations, Miss Finch. You won 5 times, so you will win $25 tonight. Thanks a lot for coming up to play What's My Line.
Is it true that the stork brought her here?
The stork practically did. Well, thanks very much, Miss Finch. Any postmortems, panel? Do you feel that you did rather well that time?
Oh, I think that wasn't bad at all for the first one.
I think you did very well. All right, then let's move on and find out who our next challenger is. Would you sign in, please, sir? Arthur Feinberg. Well, Mr. Feinberg, come over here and stand beside me for just a moment, and if you will, tell us where you live.
Brooklyn.
Have you? Brooklyn! This usually produces applause. Everybody must be from New Jersey tonight. Now, Mr. Feinberg, do you feel very nervous when you look at this talented panel of ours?
Only from the knees down.
Only from the knees down you're nervous. Well, take those knees over, if you will, to the far side of the panel, and any reasonable request they make of you, would you please accede to them? I just like to shake hands with you.
Could I feel your muscles, please?
Feel your muscles, please?
I have a geographical question to ask. Mr. Feinberg, there's one Brooklyn man to another. I'm a Remsen Street boy myself. What part of Brooklyn are you from?
Bensonhurst.
Oh, well.
Well, I think that's enough, Mr. Feinberg. You come on over here and sit down next to me. I don't think the panel needs to find out any more from a close look at you. And now, as you probably have noticed, we give the panel one wild free guess on the basis of your handwriting, what you've said, how you said it, and a good close look at you. Governor Hoffman, will you begin with the wild guesses, please?
Well, I think Mr. Feinberg's a manufacturer.
Miss Kilgallen.
Yes, I'll go even further. I think he's a manufacturer of men's clothing.
Mr. Untermeyer.
I think that he is a professional Dodger roofer.
That probably is true, but it unfortunately isn't the full answer. What about you, Dr. Hoffman?
I place him in the garment trade.
You place him in the garment trade. Well, you're all wrong, and once again, we're going to let our viewers at home get a good close look at Mr. Feinberg, and they will find out at the same time what his line is. Panel, you know the rules. You ask questions, yes. Get a no answer, and it's going to cost you $5. And if you get 10 no's, the panel
Diaper service executive.
Good beginning. Now, I'm going to give you this
Okay.
one and tell you that Mr. Feinberg is self-employed. Is that right, Mr. Feinberg? Or are you salaried?
Salary.
Mr. Feinberg is salaried. You work for somebody else. Now, with that as a starter, Mr. Untermeyer, I suppose you begin the general question.
Well, the audience has completely thrown me off by their...
We were hoping they would.
I think we'll get Mr. Feinberg off the stand and put the audience on it.
You go ahead with the
I
question.
gather from the last that Mr. Feinberg is nothing of a manufacturer whatsoever. He's probably a highly priced educator. And I would guess, not good
Could
ask,
we have a question
yes,
instead
I
of
would be glad to ask, are you in a field which is educational?
No. No, that is one down. And 9 to go. Dr. Hoffman?
Are you in a field which is serviceable?
You mean by that
That people need what you sell?
Yes.
Uh,
Say so.
Doesn't he know?
did he say
Sure.
no? Yes. He said he was employed.
yes. Salary.
Do you go from place to place in your work? Part of the time. And is your work competitive?
Yes.
And do you sell things that go up to pretty high figures?
Well, now we haven't as yet, I'd like to stop you here because we haven't as yet adduced any particulars as to what he sells for the services.
The commodity with which you're occupied. Suppose there is some commodity with which he's occupied anyway.
This is a reasonable assumption, but I was just making the point, Dr. Hoffman, that it has not as yet been adduced whether he sold services or products. Well, it might help you.
I might ask them, do you sell services?
Yes.
And with those services, is there an occasional product?
I might yes, is the answer to that.
And is that by services you mean advice?
Would you like to ask?
Yes, advice. Do you mean advice? That you give advice to people?
No, that's 2 down and 8 to go. But some valuable information has been gleaned. How about you, Governor Hoffman? You're on the block.
Feinberg, you consider that you're engaged in a profession. It's against the business. It's a profession.
Yes. Well, now, wait a minute. I have to move in here. It's not strictly, as we interpret business and professions, a profession.
Well,
no, it's 3 down and 7 to go, and I'm afraid Miss Kilgallen takes over.
Oh, you answered no.
Yes.
This
Great.
must be the most unusual business.
It's a bit unusual. It's not uncommon, but it's a bit unusual.
You say that the service that you sell and the occasional product is a necessity.
Well, I would help you
rather
this way.
than a luxury, shall we say.
Yes, it can be, but don't be misled too much by occasional. We answered the question yes because it was phrased that way. It's not necessarily an occasional product. I mean, leave your mind open on that score.
Well, may I ask a direct question?
You certainly
Is
may.
there a product involved? You sell a product as well as your services?
No. No, but you were very close. That's 4 down and 6 to go. That's a moot point which needs clarification. I'd like to What about Dr. He does not sell the product. That's the point there. What about you, Dr. Rather, Mr. Stoyandemeyer? I think it's your turn.
Would you be occupied with a technique, a manipulation, rather than something with a machine?
No. So I think we could answer that question. His manipulation plays a large part in the end product of his service. So let's withdraw that question. You go ahead.
I'm going to hit pause here because I did not mean to bring the camera back to me. It's Game Show Tuesday on cBas After Dark. We will continue immediately with What's My Line because I did not mean to hit that.
Are you connected in any branch with any branch of medicine?
No. No, that's 5 down and 5 to go. And we've spent quite a bit of time
Branch
on
of
this
medicine,
so,
okay.
Give the panel just a little bit longer on this one.
Mr. Feinberg, do you have to do a great deal of convincing in order to sell your services? Do you meet with opposition?
Convincing?
Yes.
Really?
And do you work mostly, are your services mostly extended to women?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the husbands aren't home? Well, they may be selling carpet cleaners. How do I know? I don't know exactly.
Yes, I see.
The
Can
husbands
we
are
have a
not home.
consultation?
All right, I'll give you 15 seconds for consultation.
He has a product. He has a product.
I think he's a
But he doesn't sell a product. Could it be like those television sets that they put in your home but they don't sell them? They rent them or they leave them?
Consultation period is over. Dr. Hoffman, please continue with the question.
Has your work anything to do with any form of insurance?
No.
No.
6 down and 4 to go. And I think I'm going to let Mr. Feinberg win by default because you're not moving even close to the area. Mr. Feinberg is a diaper company service salesman. Is that right, Mr. Feinberg? That's right. Thank you very much for coming up to see us. That means that you win $50 and stop at our panel with
That's getting below the bill, isn't it?
We have a
Well, I tell you what, you can all take this out of my hide afterwards. We only have 30 minutes now, so let's leave the postmortem for this last one. Now let's get on with our game, and let's see who our
God, does the money come out of their thing? Like, why did they get so pissed? Next person, sign in, please.
If a diaper doesn't give insurance, I don't know why.
That was funny.
If it isn't a necessity, I don't know what is.
Seymour Kalabny. Mr. Kalabny, come over here and stand beside me.
Seymour Kalabny.
Dr. Hoffman just said the diaper does give insurance, so you can see we're going to have some trouble after the show. How do you feel about it? Yes or no? Well, where do you live? Tell us that.
Forest Hill.
You live in Forest Hill. Well, Mr. Kalabny, would you...
Well, he was not prepared for that diaper question, was he?
stand over by...
Can anybody really be prepared for that diaper question?
Reasonable demands they make.
You wouldn't care to sing one line of a song for me, would you? First line of any song, you know.
I know.
I want to say no, but I also want to sing.
Say no, I think.
No. Oh, no, let's hear it. Show me the way to go home.
Okay.
All right, that way. This way. I think you probably frightened the pedal out of their way.
Show me the way to go home. I love that. Oh, God, that's hilarious.
One wild free guess now on the basis of your handwriting, what you've said, how you've said it, and how you look. Dr. Hoffman, would you, or rather, Governor Hoffman, begin the free guess?
That's all right. I'm a doctor, too, but I'll tell you about that some other time.
All right, fine. I'm confused enough as it is. There you go.
Free guess, I think he's a taxi driver.
That's wrong. What about you, Miss Kilgallen?
I think he's a subway guard.
That's wrong. What about you, Mr. Rodemeyer?
He's an income tax misleader.
That's wrong. What about you, Dr. Hoffman?
I think he's interested in alcohol. I mean, drink it.
Well, he might have a slight interest in alcohol. Who knows? But now let's have our viewers at home get a good close up.
Okay, I'm going to actually watch this one. Sometimes I look away during this part.
And you should be all ready to go with your questions. No answers cost you $5. Let's begin the general questioning. After telling you that Mr. Kalabny is self-employed, let's begin the general questioning.
Did we see what he did?
Governor Hoffman.
Mr. Kalabny, does your work require you to use a vehicle?
No. 1 down and 9 to go. Joe Gallup.
The taxi driver.
That's
Do you
right.
consider yourself a businessman?
I have to, sure.
That is, as opposed to a professional man.
Would you like to rephrase that question because it might be very important?
Well, do you consider,
Say, are you?
are you a businessman?
Well, I think today I'm making a living. You have to be a businessman.
Yes, but I think that's a moot issue. We'll have to call that 2 down and 8 to go. He's not a businessman. Mr. Rodemeyer?
If you are not a businessman, are you what we would call a professional?
Yes.
You profess to be a professional.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, good. Do you deal with the well-being of your clients rather than their beauty?
Oh, shit. Actually, he got really close there.
Oh, I would say, yes.
Yeah.
Well-being is much more important to your clients.
But after you are through with them, that is, if you ever are through with them, do they feel better?
Hopefully.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, they would be. You operate on, or if you operate, on all sorts of things. For instance, would I be better after you finish with me?
No. That's 3 down and 7 to go. Dr. Hoffman, it's now your ball to carry.
I know you can't improve, Louis. Anyway, that was really a question you shouldn't have asked. However, do you use tools in your work?
Yes.
Are they small tools, hand tools or machine tools?
Hand tools.
Hand tools. Did you have to go to any particular school to learn your profession? Or did it require a degree?
Yes.
Do you have patients or clients?
You can't ask that. Yes or no question.
Both. Do they sit when they come to you?
Yes.
Do they change position from time to time?
Yes.
Do they sit? Dogs
Do you give
would.
them comfort or pain or both?
Both.
Are you a dentist?
No. That's 4 down and 6 to go, and back to you, Governor.
Do they sit?
Your
That cracks me
profession
up.
bring you into physical contact with your patients or clients?
Yes.
Are you by any chance a chiropractor?
No. That is 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Gilgallen.
Do you have a title?
Yes.
Are you a doctor? Are you called doctor?
Yes.
Well, are you a psychiatrist?
No.
I knew she was going to say psychiatrist.
4 to go, Miss Rodemeier.
He denied that vehemently.
You're a doctor. You deal, I presume, with living things, with living beings.
Usually, yes.
Usually.
Both sexes?
Yes.
Both sexes, yeah.
Conference? May we have a conference?
You may have 15 seconds for
May we have a
that.
conference? Living things.
What?
I bet he's a veterinarian.
Yes.
Do you deal with animals?
Yes.
Are you an animal doctor? Are you a veterinarian?
Hey, they got it. I was convinced they weren't going to get it.
You won 6 times, and so you do get a prize, and congratulations to our panel. They did very well. And now we have something special. Panel, you remember I told you we'd be using...
We got 5 minutes left here.
Now, before we introduce our next challenger to you panel members, we're going to give you an even greater handicap than you faced for the first 3. We're not going to let you see him. If we did, you'd recognize him immediately because he's a celebrity. So you don't see him. I'm going to ask Madeline Tyler to pass out blindfolds to you, and will you please see that they're on very securely this time.
Madeline Tyler. Wow. Hey,
I thought
baby.
Miss Tyler would enhance the scenery here quite a bit. I see the audience agrees with us. All right, let's see.
We got a bunch of crusty old men plus Dorothy Kilgallen here.
I can't even look at the title?
Well, you can't. I'm sorry. You're penalized already on that.
I don't know what Miss Tyler's line is, but I bet she has a good one.
That's a fine mask they have for you there,
Yes,
Miss
I have a
Kilgallen.
glamour one. It's
Yes,
not
that's for girls.
It's better ruin my last
But I
job.
think that Mr. Undermeyer's mask improves his appearance a good deal. If we ought to get him...
That's a dirty crack.
Yeah, that's kind of an asshole thing to say for John
All right,
Daly.
now it's up to you to identify our guest celebrity. Are all the masks on so that you can't see them? Okay, well, our celebrity, please come on stage now and sign up. You
Sign out?
There on the
Do they mean sign
white
in?
sheet of paper, and I will call you Mr. X, if you don't mind, because we don't want the panel to know too much about you. I'm not going to allow you any wild guesses on this panel.
I didn't see what that said. Oh, Phil Rizzuto.
I want to say this.
I think he's a baseball player.
The money that is lost to our Mr. X is going to go to the Hart Foundation. All right, let's see how quickly you can identify Mr. X, and we'll start with Miss Kilgallen.
Well, if you're a celebrity, are you tall, dark, and handsome?
No. I think we'll have to accept the no there, but it doesn't even do with the handsome part of it. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Undermeyer.
Are you small, dark, and handsome?
He's-
Hardly.
He's not dark.
Yes, I think. You go ahead, Mr. Undermeyer.
The answer is yes. Good.
Yes.
Are you judging from that fine, vibrant tenor a singer?
No. That's 2 down and 8
Are you a
to go.
singer?
And
No.
Dr. Hoffman.
In spite of the fact that you're a celebrity, do you consider your life worthwhile?
No.
I didn't hear.
Yes, it is.
In other words, you give comfort or joy or substance to people.
Well, yes, we'll take a yes on that. You see, Doctor, our time is running out very
Well,
well.
are you engaged in art?
Well, it could be. Withdraw the question.
Are you engaged in a science?
You want to withdraw that one? No, I think that's 3 down and 7 to go. Can't give you any more leeway. Governor Hoffman, you might be able to do very well with this one.
I do not think you're in the field of government. Am I right?
That's right.
That's very well questioned.
Do you work indoors? Do you generally work outdoors?
Yes.
We have only a minute and a half.
Are you engaged in the field of sports?
Yes.
Joe DiMaggio, I think.
No, he's not in town.
Are you connected with a sport that is generally not being played at this time of year?
Yes.
Are you connected with the sport in New York?
Yes.
In Greater New York?
Yes.
If I said that you are not with the Brooklyn Dodgers, would I be right?
You would be.
Very good. Continue, Dr. Hoffman.
If I said you are with some New York aggregation of athletes, would I be right?
Yes.
I can only give you a little more time, Governor Hoffman, so you'll have to drive for the finish.
Well, I think I have this fellow.
All right, well, let's take a try because I'm going to have to
Two in mind. I think it's still risotto.
Bill,
Oh, we got it.
And Phil, tell us, what did you do during this off-season?
I work in the American shop, the clothing store over North.
Oh, how's business?
Pretty good.
The American shop to Illinois. Well, I must say, you should be able to sell a suit very well and very fast. And thanks a lot for being our celebrity guest.
Still living in
on
New
What's
Jersey?
My Line.
Yes, Sammy?
Good.
I
Yeah,
think to my original guess. I still think that Bill would make a very good singer.
Oh, I think he'd make a wonderful singer, but he's one of the finest baseball players that ever came down the track.
sing with Ralph
Thanks again very much for being our celebrity guest on What's My Line tonight, Phil Rizzuto, and a very fine piece of work, Governor Hoffman.
Okay, I'm going to just say really fast.
I'm sorry to say that our time for this evening is.
I'm going to watch the credits because that's important.
Again, we'll try to see how good we are at spotting the occupation of our challenges. I will have to say good night, Dr. Hoffman.
And good night, Louis Andermeyer.
And good night, Dorothy Kilgallen.
And good night, Harold Hoffman.
And good night, John Daly.
And good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line.
Yeah, the camera guy was asleep on that last little goodnight thing. Let's watch the credits here. What's My Line?
My Line has been presented by CBS in association with Goodson Gardner Productions. Produced by Gil Bates and directed by Paul Monroe.
Wow. Oh, man. I'm sorry. If you're joining me and you're wondering what the fuck am I watching, black and white game shows are among one of my best favorite little passions. Because, for one thing, they were all performed live, like extremely live from stem to stern. They weren't videotaped or, like edited later in post-production kind of a thing. That was live in front of an audience and broadcast live to the world. And, that alone makes me love it more than most game shows that are recorded and edited, and if something unexpected happens, they just kind of do it again or whatever. Like, this was as live gets, and I believe on Game Show Tuesday before, once we watched a What's My Line, where a guy stood up and started talking about Jesus or something, and they, killed the microphone, so they couldn't really hear what he had to say, and then men came and sort of took him away off the stage, but it was like, holy shit, that's live as live can get, motherfucker. All right. So yes, black and white overnight was where I first started watching What's My Line. The year would have been 2001, and it was when I was hanging out with my ex. The ex is gone, but thank goodness What's My Line remains. In fact, is even coming back because now we have more of those clips than ever before, thanks to the What's My Line feed on the good old YouTube there. All right, let's jump to the 80s. You know what? Before we jump to the 80s, let's talk a little bit about game shows, because here's the top 5 cheaters in game show history, according to crack.com. And I'm going to tell you right now, it starts with a bullshit thing. We've talked about this on my show a bunch of times. Press Your Luck is the number 5 slot. Michael Larson stole $110,000, except no, he didn't. No, he didn't steal it because he was playing it within the rules of the game. He happened to learn how to exploit a weakness in the game. Just go back a couple of weeks on this very show and we'll watch sort of the truncated version of the Michael Larson story, where this guy figured out the blink pattern, figured out which spots on the Press Your Luck board never had a whammy, and could conceivably not lose as long as he followed the blink pattern and could hit the button at the right moment. And he hit the button at the right moment, winning approximately 10 times more than anybody usually won on that game show. They make this point, and I'll say it again. God, my hair's a tragedy every fucking night. They make the point that, today, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that title alone makes you think, millions of dollars go out on game shows every day. In the early 80s, that was not the case. Like, game shows in the early 80s, maybe you'd win 8,000, 10,000. The cars were worth 6,000 or 7,000. It was not the high dollar sort of extreme game show experience we're used to today. So when you talk about Michael Larson cheating, that's bullshit. They had a bad system in their game that was exploitable to anybody who could figure it out with a VCR. And this article already loses me with it, but we'll keep going. $1 Million Drop, a short-lived game show where couples had $1 million. They wagered on trivia knowledge. They placed stacks of bills on trap doors that, of course, clanked open when they got a question wrong. Oh, I remember that. I do remember this game show. It was on Fox, but the demilage between Fox Studios demanded a sacrifice of cash tainted with despair. On the very first episode, they were asked to wager their $1 million on whether a Walkman or Post-it notes were sold first. They didn't agree, which is perfect for the couple. Perfect because the show let couples bicker for 60 seconds before the trapdoors ended their relationship. Gabe thought it was Post-it notes because of a ridiculous amount of knowledge he had about the product's origin, uses, and manufacturing process. Brittany thought it was the Walkman just because. It was such a caricature of every argument I've had with my woman that glands started blah, blah, blah. Gabe eventually won out and they placed $800,000 on Post-its. Gabe was wrong. The trapdoor opened, and the only thing trapdoors say, what you once loved now belongs to the darkness. They went on to lose the rest of the money too. Through a strange coincidence, the show was aired 2 weeks after a Financial Times interview with 3M inventors about the molecular structure of adhesives. In it, extremely boring people learned that Post-it notes were test marketed in certain cities before the Walkman, and that Gabe turned out to be right. So obviously, the show was happy to admit its mistakes and send brave excavators in to retrieve the cash, right? Not even close. Look at the show's format. A pile of money sits there until a tragic spectacle rips it away unless they win, where literally nothing happens to it. That kind of idea really comes out of your brain only if you're some kind of monster. And so the first thing the producers did was deny their error through a semantic argument over the word sold. Losing that, they offered to have Gabe and Brittany back on the program, but they didn't do that either since the show was canceled. $800,000 has never caused so much confusion and sadness. That does seem like bullshit. And I do remember that Kevin Pollak hosted, the comedian. They argued that Gabe and Brittany shouldn't have gotten another shot since they didn't know the final question and would have lost it all anyway. I think that's a good point. This author seems to think the people were whatever, holy. Okay, here we go. Herb Stempel in 1956. Amount stolen, $140,000, and America's innocence. All right, I'm already sort of over the tone of this article. But this is the one where Herb came forward to tell the world the show is fixed. No one believed him. After all, why would somebody fix a trivia game show? Without the competition, it would be a pointlessly treacherous way to trick the world into watching an idiot state uninteresting facts. It turns out 21 was fixed from almost the beginning. Their plot went undetected for another year, since at the time most of the world was looking for communists. The scandal nearly destroyed the game show industry, inspired a Robert Redford movie, and forced Congress to amend the Communications Act to make it illegal to fix game shows. So there you have that. I actually didn't know a couple of those details. We'll do the last two sort of cheaters in game show history coming up. Let's go to the 80s now. The game show called Go. I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing, but check out the weirdness of this game show. One of the girls from The Facts of Life is in this, Kim Fields, as well as the host, who is named Kevin O'Connell. And let's just watch 15 or 10 minutes of this and see how bad it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the name of the game is Go. And two teams are here to compete for a jackpot worth up to $20,000. This week, our celebrity captains are, from the Packs of Life, Kim Fields.
Tootie!
Give me a break, Lori Handler.
Oh, some lady. Oh, the daughter from Gimme a Break. Okay, holy shit. I didn't know her name, but I know who she is when I see her.
Ready to go, Kevin O'Connell. Thank you. And on behalf of all of us here at Go, we hope you and yours had a very, very Merry Christmas and a very happy Hanukkah season as well. As we begin this brand new week on Go, we are going to be joined by two of the younger NBC stars, I guess you could say. We're going to start with Gimme a Break today, Lori Handler, who plays Julie. Yes. And you are the captain of the Red Squad today. And just before we started the program, the fact of this particular show, or the fact of this night, is the fact that we flipped a coin between Kim and Lori, and you won the flip of the coin, so we're going to give you the option. Do you want the Red Squad to begin this day first, or do you want to pass it on over to Kim Fields?
We're going to play.
All right, we're ready to take it on. Let's go. And again, we would like to welcome you to our match of head-to-head. We are going to be with these 10 familiar faces, the blue and the red team, all week long. The only thing that will change, we're going to be rotating our captains and our celebrity captains, if you will. Here are the members of the red team today.
My name's Donna, and I'm originally from Kansas. I'm a singer.
Nice to have you here.
Hi, my name is Angie Gilbert Grayfield. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm currently residing in Redondo Beach with my husband and my little dog, Charlie.
You gotta love the hairdos.
All right.
Hi, I'm Lori Handler, and I'm on Gimme a Break, and I'm the captain of the red team.
All right, it's nice to have you here too, Lori. My name is Keith Coleman, and I'm an aerobics instructor. All right, we're going to give you a lot of exercise today, Keith.
My name is Morrissey Field Sherman, and I'm newlywed.
Maybe we can start paying off some of the bills, hopefully with a little bit of the dollars. As I indicated before, over $20,000 in cash is up for grabs every day on our head-to-head match. The object of the game of Go is very simple. The players down front have to formulate a question using one word at a time. Whichever team can give me 5 correct answers in the shortest period of time will win points. 1,500 points wins our game. And, of course, a shot at possibly up to $20,000 in our double jackpot round. Round number 1 worth $250. Lori, you're the captain. Would you like to play for the answers in the top or the bottom packet?
Let's start at the top.
All right. We'll start at the top and hopefully stay there. You don't want to work your way down. And let me simply remind you folks that if you use too much to the answer that appears on your screen, or you use more than one word at a time in formulating your question with our compliments, you'll get one of these. That's not giving you a break, that's giving you a no-no.
Okay, so it's kind of like that cuckoo means mistake. You literally can say one word at a time, and you have to, with your other team member, have to form a question that the person can answer.
Head-to-head. Here's your first answer. Ready? Go.
What is not your son? Your daughter.
Go.
What
Is
itsy
bitsy
teeny
weeny.
a bikini?
Go. What
Do
you
cook
in?
a stove?
Wrong. Next word. Who
Was
a
star
on
a
comedy?
pass?
Next word.
What
Do
you
put
cigarette
out?
in? An ashtray.
Go. Where
Do
you
buy
tickets?
at a box office?
Go.
What has a long neck? A giraffe.
Stop the clock.
Okay, so they got that in 39 seconds after fucking up Carol Burnett.
39 seconds on the clock, a very good time. Kim Fields, your team's turn. Come on down. And just before we begin the second half of our first round, why don't we meet the members of Kim Fields' team, the Blue Squad, on this day.
Hi, I'm David Corson. I'm a seminary student working myself through school as an optician. And I live in Anaheim with my wife, Joni.
It's nice to have you with us, David.
Hi, I'm Lori Metcalf. I'm a mother of 2, and I'm from San Diego, California.
All right, coming up to LA.
Hi there.
Hello, ma'am.
I'm Kim Fields, and I'm on Back to Life.
See, Kim, it's nice to have you here.
Hi, I'm Lynn Matayana. I'm a native Southern California, now living in Fullerton.
All right, nice to have you here, Lynn.
Hi, I'm Patricia Balink, and I'm a public relations consultant for a private tennis club.
Patricia, nice to have you here. If you'll notice something most unique, I don't think we've had this sexual arrangement. Only one male per team today. Let's find out if it means something. You got 39 seconds.
It's a sexual arrangement, all right.
Because if you can give me 5 correct answers from the packet on the bottom,
That means you will win round number 1 at 250 points. Let's see how fast you can do it. David, starts us off. Here's your first answer. Go. What
Do
you
take
pictures
with a camera?
Go.
What is the holiday where you get eggs? Easter.
Go.
What is worn on your wrist to tell time? A watch.
Go.
What do you call food that is a app?
Next word.
Ooh.
Where do you go to see clowns and animals? The circus.
Go. Hurry now.
What?
Movie.
Pass.
Next word. Oh! Whoa. Nice job.
They could have gotten that one that they passed on.
Try this to see if it might fly, Lori. Well, what do you eat the day after Thanksgiving?
Leftovers.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same at your house and my house. That's the only one we had a little problem with leftovers, and right at the very end we were looking for Robert Redford, but hard to get his name in only 3 seconds. Take the 250 points. We'll make a deposit in the red team side of the board, so we're going to let Kim and the blue squad set the time that the red team is going to have to beat when we come back with round 2 of Go right after these words.
So we'll keep watching. I'm kind of into this. We'll see how this game plays out for a little while here.
The younger members of the NBC family, if you will. Kim Fields is hosting, of course, on the television show Facts of Life, and she's the captain of the Blue Squad this week. Lori Hemler with the red team, and right now Lori's team is up by 1 round. They won the first 250 points ahead, but it takes a lot more. So Kim, tell you what, you're going to set the time they have to beat. 500 points to value.
Okay, do you want top or bottom? Top.
Okay. Just a reminder for our friends at home, we pay $1 a point for the winning team for all the points, so there's an awful lot of money at stake. Okay, Dave, you start first.
So why not just call them dollars?
What?
Do
Carpenters
use
to
hit
nails.
with a hammer?
Go.
What shall do?
Next word.
What do you do when you are tired? You sleep.
Wrong. Next word.
What show hosted by Dick Clark? American Bandstand.
Go.
What is Agatha Christie's books? Mystery.
Go.
What do you take for headaches? Aspirin.
Go.
What
Do
carpenters
use
when
they
want
to
break
and
a
would?
saw?
Stop the clock.
Kim Fields is terrible. I got to say, 2D, you need to up your game a little bit here.
That was the trouble. Sometimes you say, what do they want to do? And of course, you can't use the word. And I was thinking a hammer. We got hung up a little bit. The shell that they were looking at, I believe, went past on the oyster.
I don't know if it's a fish or not. I couldn't. I don't eat seafood anyway, so it never really bothered me one way or the other.
We had a little trouble. And of course, one of the shows that Dick Clark hosts is American Bandstand. He's done so many these days.
Yeah, that was the thing I was thinking of.
We're going to find out if that's going to be enough time for you to capture round number 2, but you have to go to the white knuckle area. We're going to give Lori a chance right now. Come on down, Red Team. Did real well in round number 1. You set a real fast time. They gave you 51 seconds. Give me 5 answers before that clock will count down to 0. You'll be up 2 rounds. Donna starts. Here's your first answer. Go.
What has 2 wheels and no engine? A train.
Wrong. Next word.
What does a bee do? Sing.
Wrong. Next word.
Who was
With?
the 3 bears' friend? Goldilocks.
Go. Hurry. What
Is
the
rating
for
a children's movie? G.
go? What
Is
an
Hour.
hour? 60 minutes.
go? How
Do
you
say
hello
in
Hawaiian?
aloha?
Go.
Oh, they were not bad. That was a shitty time, and they still managed to fuck it up.
I guess you can say hello in Hawaiian, aloha, and maybe goodbye, aloha, because the time kind of went goodbye on us. 500 points. Move them over to Kim's side of the board in the blue team. So they're starting to play catch-up. It's rather interesting because since we've been on back in early October, it's interesting when a letter appears on your screen. Okay, the letter G in this example, and we've had other. Usually the players will go for an alphabet. What letter follows? I've never gone for a movie rating, which is in 60 minutes. Again, when on the screen they have little quotation marks around it, maybe referring to the television program that you went for how much time in an hour. You can play in all kinds of ways, I guess. All right? Round number 3, you both have a round apiece. We're going to find out who takes the lead. Lori, attack it, please.
Top again.
All right, to the top we go. Let's see how fast you can give us 5 answers and put the pressure right back on the blue squad. Here's your first response. Go.
What is red and flows through your veins? Blood.
Go.
Who
Plays
tennis
and
is
a
champ? Chris Everett.
wrong. Next word.
What
Is
this? Thumb
ring the bell. Go.
Wow, you could do that, huh?
What
is
100 years?
a century.
Go. What
Reflects
yourself?
a mirror.
Go.
What do you sit on a horse? A saddle.
Not bad. 36 seconds. All right. I think that's a good score. Or good.
The clock just keeps ticking. Maybe
Time.
there's the train of thought. You move through it fast. The only difference being maybe what male tennis star. But again, we're talking about so many great ones. John McEnroe.
Yeah, that's right. They screwed up one, and they still managed to get only 36
36
seconds.
seconds, a great time. Let's find out if it's enough for Kim to do. Come on, Kim. Great way to walk off a little too much Christmas dinner. Play a couple of rounds of go, and you can get yourself right back into shape, huh? 750 points. The answers will come from the bottom. Give me 5 answers before the clock hits 0. There's 36 seconds on that clock. Start us off, David. Here's your first answer. Go. What
Is
25 cents?
a quarter.
Go.
What comes after M? The past.
Next word.
What has people in
Moscow.
Moscow? Russia.
Go. Hurry.
What is a fruit that is peeled and some juice? Orange.
Go.
What do doctors use to listen to your heart? Stethoscope.
Go.
What
Is.
All right. I mean, not a boring game. Kind of silly.
About letters a couple of moments ago. All right.
What comes after
The letter N, the right answer.
N?
We were looking for a P. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes after the letter O,
She blew it at the end there, so that's why they wanted to wipe it out.
not the letter
We didn't
N.
have an awful lot of time to work with, believe me.
She doesn't
750
speak
points
with the
sitting over
alphabet
the
much,
red
I
side
guess.
of the board, and we have come to a very interesting portion of our match because whichever team wins the next round of Go goes to the jackpot round for $10,000. Kim in the blue, Lori in the red. We're going to find out right after these words. Come on back.
All right, so back to me just for a second. I'm going to find part 2 here to make sure that we can actually see the conclusion, because now I got to know the end, even though the game shows. And by the way, another game show coming up is the one called You Don't Say. I think you'll find some similarities there, but let's get back to this and watch part 2 of Go. It's only 8 minutes here, so it'll be pretty quick.
Welcome back to Head to Head here on Go. 1,000 points on
Head
the
to Head?
side of the board. 500 points for the Blue
Is that
Squad.
the name of the round? I don't know what the head to head
We'll
is.
come to a very interesting part because our final round number 4, is worth $12.50, which will easily put you over the top. Or if the red team is victorious, put them over the top. So the strategy here is to set a very short period of time and be very, very concise with your answers. All right, $12.50 is the value. Kim, where are we going?
Let's take the top.
All right, to the top we go. There we go. As they say, the root fact of life, winner takes all. Winner of this round plays for $10,000. Good luck, folks. David starts. Here's your first answer. Go. What
Do
Hawaiians
wear
around
their
necks?
a leg?
Go.
What do you do to food
After.
and get past?
Next word.
What are the blue and red? The flag.
Wrong. Next word.
Who is carrying your luggage mortgage in a hotel? The bellboy. Go. What comes from ports so you will appear?
Pass.
Anything.
Next word.
What are yellow fruits that are in
A peel.
some bunches? Banana. Go. Where do you cook that is a room? The kitchen. Go. What
Is
the
striped
animal
that
is
a
shirt?
Hit it.
and
A
cat?
Garfield.
Wrong. Next word.
No word.
No word.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Are
Fall,
winter,
spring,
summer. The season.
stop the clock.
What if they get above 99? Does it just end? Like, I mean, holy fucking shit, they took forever. God, Tootie.
Going to do, Sandy, I'll simply check with you because the word took a second to come up. Will we alter the clock and move it down? We're going to check with our judges and make a minor alteration in the clock timing because it did take a split second for the word to come up.
Tell me what that word was that was really messy.
The one that we were looking for was
For parts.
tiger. Tiger was the animal. Like the shirt.
Yes.
A designer tiger, I guess you could say. We were also looking for what you do with food, and that's a little difficult to get it from your mouth
To my stomach.
to your stomach. So you had to swallow it. All right. Let's see. We have 87. Is that going to be the time we're going to use? 85. All right. We'll deduct 2 seconds for that late answer coming up. Now you have to go up and see if that's going to be enough. Come on, Lori. Bring
If they can't do it in 85 seconds, they don't deserve to win. I'm sorry.
All right, what we are going to do is reload the time. There will be 85 seconds on the clock. Give me
Minute
5
15, that's a lot of time.
I see a lot of smiles. Don't get overconfident now. Give me 5 answers before the clock counts down to 0. We'll see in the jackpot round for $10,000. Donna starts. Here's your first answer. Go.
What month follows October? November.
Go.
Who
Was
wouldn't
and
his
father
was
Geppetto.
Pinocchio?
Go. Who
Is
the
assistant
to
the
sheriff?
the deputy?
Go. When
Do
you
want
to
get
a
warm
coat?
when you're cold?
Go.
Wow.
What do you receive to go to school that is payment? Tuition.
Wrong. Next word for the round.
What do you hang and kiss underneath? Mistletoe.
I got a funny feeling about what particular part of the house got a lot of work out over the weekend. Of course, with the mistletoe on Christmas, 2,250 points. You had 35 seconds left on the clock, so we're going to give you $1 a point. That's $2,250 for the Red Squad. But more important than that, why don't we catch our breath, and when we come back, we're going to give you a big shot at $10,000. The jackpot round is next on Go, right after these words. Your fellow teammates, but now you have to. We were experiencing technical difficulties. We now rejoin Go. Successful timer, 60 seconds.
Okay.
Jackpot, give me 7 correct answers before the clock.
7
comes down to
correct
0.
answers. All right.
We'll give you $10,000. Good luck, folks. We're going to give you the money and give us a break, I guess you could say. Lori starts. Here's your first answer. Go.
What
Is
the element that
has
is ozone? The atmosphere.
wrong. Next word.
What
Do
you give to
have
someone at your
party.
an
That's
invitation?
1.
What
Drink
is a
drug.
wine?
Wrong. Next word.
What
Comes
from your
pores.
sweat?
That's 2. Go,
What
Marcy. Do
you
cut
and
pray. No. That's 3.
Wow.
Who wins the contest every year and is the most beautiful lady in our nation? Miss America.
That's 4.
What?
Oh, good try.
Yeah, that was pretty hard. I didn't realize that the people ran off during the bonus part of that game.
We had 4 correct answers. We're going to give you $200 for each answer. That's an additional $800. And when we catch our breath, we are going to be back to total up day 1 of head-to-head on Go right after this.
All right.
First day, Lori, of course, was the captain of our red team on day 1 of head-to-head, and you're going to walk away today with $3,050 in winnings.
Divided by 4, though, that's not that much.
Lori's going to be here tomorrow along with Kim Fields, KO for Geo. We'll see you for round 2 tomorrow. Bye-bye. Some members of our studio audience will receive golden griddles preferred over pure maple.
Golden griddle syrup, the taste that beat pure maple. I love these commercials. These are kind of cute.
Turkey franks and luncheon meats are today's smart checking buys. Use Reese's peanut butter flavored chips for great peanut butter taste and all kinds of cookies and brownies. Delicious peanut butter chips made with real peanuts. Genuine Z-Brick brand facing brick. Add riches and character to your walls. Easy to apply Z-Brick wall facing. Beautify your home with genuine Z-Brick. When it comes to Spanish olives, quality.
Spanish olives.
#1. Select plump and tangy olives from Turkey. And the 3-piece set of hard cutlery from the True Value Hardware store. High carbon steel blades and solid walnut handles sold exclusively at True Value Hardware.
That's good stuff, this game show, right?
Tomorrow night, when Murdoch's price is dropped for pushers, the A-team buys a ton of trouble. Then on Remington Steel, as Laura investigates corporate sabotage, her apartment gets blown up. Is she next on the hit list? After that, catch for Love and Honor. Be there.
NBC, be there. Okay, well, there you have a look at Go, the game show from the 80s. That was Christmas, day after Christmas, 1983. Well, let's go ahead and switch over to the You Don't Say game with Jim Peck. I don't know if we'll watch this whole thing. This is, I think, a little bit tougher to watch, although I may have watched a part of it before on Game Show Tuesday. I'm not fully sure. I'm going to have to hit review or reload on this page because it doesn't seem to be loading. Okay, today. Thank you. Okay, let's go back to the Cracked article and finish that up really fast because that's mildly interesting. The last 2 people who allegedly cheated, the top 2 cheaters in game show history, depression treatment device. If you've ever bought that, please kill yourself because that is not going to be something that is a real depression solution. Well, the computer seems to be completely frozen. I don't know if looks like the internet's working, but my entire computer. Hopefully, Google doesn't crash on me here. Okay, let's just go back to me for a second because I don't know what is happening. Okay, the heck with that Cracked article. That seemed to be what was freezing me. Let's go ahead and watch. I don't even care about that article anyway because that was a bunch of bullshit. Maybe at the end I'll try and pull it back up if there's a little time. But let's watch You Don't Say with Jim Peck from, let's see, is there a year or a date on this at all? Yes, this is from June 24th, 1978. And I believe, like I say, I believe you'll find the game similar.
Bob Ridgely, Nipsey Russell, Dick Gautier, and Valerie Bertinelli are all here to play television's most challenging game, You Don't Say. Now here's the host of You Don't Say, Jim Peck.
I'll just say the funny thing about Jim Peck there, the host, is he was also the host of the show that became the Press Your Luck game show with the Whammy. It was called Second Chances. And
people, Valerie Bertinelli from One Day at a Time, Dick Gautier, Bob Ridgely, Nipsey Russell.
Yes.
Maybe we'll even have time later in the show for a poem.
I hope so.
You have one, Dick?
How about talking about The Wiz? Do you know that Nipsey Russell is in The Wiz and he plays the Tin Woodman? He's like the black...
All right, blah, blah, blah. Let's just get to the game here.
Quiet, durable, no need for separate padding, Windsong carpeting furnished by Galaxy. And Oxford Super Slim Rings. 14-karat gold with diamonds, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, and opals. A design-it-yourself idea from Oxford. And Skyway's newest luggage for easier handling on stairs, curbs, and tight places. Upright luggage on wheels. Outdoor twist fabric and colors, including new Fantasia. Upright luggage on wheels furnished by Skyway.
Those are just some of the things. We got a lot more. The object of the game stars to get your partner to say the name of a famous person or place by conveying to them a word that sounds but is not spelled like any part of that name. You do that by making up a sentence and leaving off the last word. That is the word
You don't say.
They do it so well. You're on your way, players, to a possible $10,000 additional cash and prizes. Stars, please take a look at your first name.
Yes, sir.
He left his heart in San Francisco. Tony Bennett.
And we will begin with Judy Hirsch. Judy, all 4 stars playing. Obviously, you're looking for a person, and pick any one of them.
Nipsey.
Yes.
Wait,
Well,
pick first.
well, you know, they know I'm going to try hardest. Well, I have 5 fingers on my hand. This is my thumb, and on my foot I have a big
Toe. Doe.
Person.
Toe. 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 Toe.
5 seconds.
Toe.
Look at me.
Toe.
5 seconds up. Phoebe, Valerie, Dick, or Bob Ridgely?
Dick.
There is also on our bodies, we have a joint here that we flex, which is our elbow. And the counterpart of that in our leg is called our
Knee. Toe. Knee. Tony. Tony.
5 seconds.
Tony Perkins.
Not Tony Perkins. It's tough. You go all the way down the list. Okay, it's either Valerie or Bob Ridgely.
Valerie. This has happened to me quite a lot of times. When you go out on a date and you come home just a little bit late, you know, like a half hour, an hour, just a little bit late, your mother or your father will be waiting up for you. And they will say, "Girl, where have you been?" Tony Ben. Tony Ben. Tony Ben.
5 seconds.
Tony Ben. Tony. Tony Ben. Tony.
How did she not get that?
Phoebe and Bob Ridgely.
Bob.
Yes.
All right.
This is the last clue, incidentally.
Did he sleep in that
If you
shirt?
see some lady who's got a whole bunch of wool and she's got 2 needles, she's moving around with them and doing things, you might say to her, you've got 2 needles and you got some wool. So tell me, what are you going to
Knit. Tony. Bill. Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett.
What a weird game, right? Like, this is a really weird game.
As she got knit, Judy went, "Oh, I can't believe it. We're going to stop for a message and come right back."
And I gotta say, it's not as similar as I was thinking it was to Go. Maybe it's another game show that's close to the way that they play Go, with that every other word thing. I mean, maybe it's like Password.
Contestants will receive Norelco's Coffee Maker. Exclusive dialer brew control satisfies individual taste. Warming plate
hello.
serving temperature. Furnished by Norelco. And Armor All Protect. Protects above makes the world less rotten.
Wow, that's really wacky.
Okay, Phoebe's got the first name.
Okay.
That means one
He came back, whatever that was.
to her total, which is getting astronomical. Stars, please take a look at your next name.
Wait a minute. Eddie gave up his throne to marry Wally, Duchess of Windsor.
Jesus.
Phoebe, pick any one of the 4.
Nipsey?
Yes. My dad snores. But although he snores, he doesn't sleep very heavily. He sleeps very lightly, and he wakes very easily. So when my mother wants to wake him, she doesn't shake him harshly. She takes one finger and barely
Nudges. Taps. Touches. Touches.
Person.
Touches. Touches.
5 seconds.
Touches. 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 Touches.
Time. Judy?
Dick.
What is Nipsey doing with his hands?
if you have a habit of blinking, you could be called a blinker. If you have a habit of winking, that could be called a winker. And if you get a little short stab of pain, a quick little stab of pain, and you might make a little gesture like that from the pain, you could be called a
flincher, wincer, Touches Windsor, the Duchess of Windsor.
Okay, she's cheating. There's no way she could have gotten that. Touches Windsor, Duchess of what?
You had it on touches, and then started to get thrown off by Fletcher until you got to Windsor. That worked out very well, Ty. Score one.
That's wacky.
Please take a look at your next name.
Once you got to know him, he wasn't a bad egg. Humpty Dumpty.
And this is a person, once again, and Judy, you're in control, and Bob Ridgely or Valerie Bertinelli.
Valerie. That's my name.
Good choice. Good choice.
Okay. The structure that you live in is not a home, but a...
Yeah, that's what it is, Valerie.
Oh, I'm so happy. Miss Teen Timer Goof too. Oh, I'm so happy.
I mean, she was going for home instead of hum.
I couldn't let you be
Or
out
hump.
there alone. And
Oh, listen to Smarty Pants Teen
I mean, seriously, wouldn't they have gone for hum or hump? Camel has a hump. I don't sing, I just hum, like home.
That was Humpty Dumpty was the coach. He was going for home, and instead won the Bob Ridgely Award.
So they just go to the next one?
In his name. So,
That even weirds me out more.
The game stays the same. It's still Valerie Bertinelli and Bob Ridgely. Stars, take a look at that next name, please.
I don't think it'll be
Oh, I'm
Valerie.
so happy. So
Now you got
We'll
two
invite
bad
you to play along on this. We'll invite the audience to
I
play
won't
along on
ever
this.
do it again.
That's what I said
Not
too.
on this show, you won't.
You're on your way to
Judy, pick any one of
Foul Up City.
You got to pick one of these.
Person.
Valerie. Oh, you're not supposed to pick me. Okay.
This is us
Okay. There's a song
supposed to guess
about
too.
angels. Hark the Herald.
Person.
Harold. Harold. Harold.
5 seconds.
Harold. Harold.
Harold
Harold
Ramis.
Prince.
Harold Prince. No, not Harold Prince.
Who's Harold
Joanne
Prince?
And Bob Ridgely.
Big choice, right, Phoebe? Yes. All right, I'm John Wayne, and I want to escape from the Apaches. You see, so I get behind this big wooden structure with big logs and everything like that, and there are sentries and everything. The Apaches are going to attack, but heck, I'm safe within my
Fort.
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 Harold Fort.
Harold Fort.
5
Harold
seconds.
Fort. Gerald Ford.
Seriously? Harold Fort? I can't wrap my brain around this game. This is so fucked up.
We're going to slip in on you, and then we're going to come right back to our game going.
I bet you are. All right, I'm kind of over this, but let's watch. I don't want to watch the rest. I just want to watch the bonus round.
Some of our contestants will receive.
So let's just watch the bonus round here. Oh, pork, tender, loving fare.
Delicious beef and a great food value. And
Some of our contestants take home pork
undercover for good with a couple
and
of
paint.
that last for years.
All right,
Olympic overcoat and crevettes, the macaroni and spaghetti in the famous green box.
so let's watch the ending here. Just the last half of it here.
Special chocolate flavored coating, Eskimo pie, refreshing and delicious. Anytime.
I just very quickly mention that we ran out of time. We had to stop that right in the middle. However, even if Phoebe had gotten it, it would have been a tie score, and she was behind on clues, so that Judy would have been our winner anyway. However, let me hold it up for you, because you haven't done badly in your 3 days here. You leave us with $7,100 in cash and prizes.
3 days is a $7,000 total. Good for her in the 70s.
Because it's time to play that bonus. Watch out so we don't knock you right out into the audience with that board.
The rotating board. Look out.
5 clues.
Thunk.
Stars to give you back 4 names. If you can do that, it will be worth $10,000 in cash and prizes. And John Harlan's going to tell you a few more of the things that are in that prize package. John?
We've got Marvel's Draft Beer Dispenser. Enjoy the fresh goodness of draft beer anytime. Furnished by Marvel. And from Grizel, the Country Garden Collection. The glass is hand-blown and hand-decorated. Designed in the tradition of American craftsmanship. All furnished by Grizel Lighting. And we have a week's vacation right on the beach, right on Acapulco Bay in the elegant Hyatt Regency Acapulco. All water sports, a tennis club, 12 lounges, discotheques, and gourmet restaurants. Furnished by the Hyatt Regency in Acapulco. Good luck.
You haven't missed a thing all the time you've been here. Let's go right to it. I want to give you all the time we can. Here's your first name. Think of your clue.
On the sunny coast of Portugal, Lisbon.
This is a place, Stars, and pick any one of the 4.
Valerie.
Okay, a place.
Valerie, I am talking
with a certain kind of speech impediment. I have problems with saying my S's. They come out like THs. And what I'm doing is I'm not stuttering. I'm
Lisbon.
A place.
Lisbon.
Lisbon is right.
Wow. Okay, got one. Not stuttering, I'm Lisbon. Lisbon. Okay.
Take a look and think of your clues.
His babe was a blue ox. Paul
Bunyan.
Dick, Bob, or Nipsey. This is a person. A
Dick.
person.
Please. Dick, there's a thing that you can get on your toe. It's a bump. And it's not a callus. You get pads for these. They're not callus pads. They're pads for this other thing that's similar to a callus. And what this thing is a...
Bunyan.
Person.
Bunyan. Paul Bunyan.
Okay. I just got to get what? 3 more?
Ridgely and Russell, take a look at name number 3 and think carefully your clue.
Forerunner of Star Wars, Flash Gordon.
Forerunner of Star Wars?
This is a person, Nipsey.
Nipsey, there's another word for skin. It's used in terms of, especially when you get crayons. There's a something color. It's kind of skin color, but the color the color is called something else. You can get this colored tights.
Yeah.
If you don't want to look like you have black tights on or red tights on.
Watch it.
And what this color is...
Well, I got it when you said black. Flash. Flash.
Person.
Flash. Flash.
Wow. See, way too uncomfortable camera zoom in there. Way too uncomfortable. Good thing it was out of focus.
Okay. One more name. You've got 2 clues.
Oh, I see. She got one more, but she can actually get one wrong and still make it.
The 4th name.
Singer, talk shower, Dinah Shore.
I thought it was going to be Phil Donahue.
Beginning with Bob Ridgely.
Dinah Shore. Okay.
Good luck.
Bob, I'm from New York. I'm actually from New York. And I say car instead of car.
Sounds like Boston, yeah.
Oh, then I'm from Boston.
Okay.
You say so, I'm from Boston.
Wherever.
All right.
What I am, I'm a person who eats at a restaurant. The name for me is also a name of a cafe, like Joe's something, Joe's Cafe. Or if you're, I'm the person who is at the restaurant and I'm eating, but there's another word for eating. You don't say you're eating out. There's a classier word. And what I am, I'm not an eater, but I'm not an eater. I'm a...
Dinah.
A person.
Dinah Shore.
Holy shit, she nailed it. 10,000 for that? Wow. Wow. Let's watch the last minute or so, and I want to see if there's credits.
And a full week has not missed a thing up here. Judy, take a deep breath. Cash and prizes, you have a grand total of $21,700.
That's not small potatoes for 78.
You are dynamite. You've been a terrific player.
Dynamite, get it?
Great stars to work with. That's the way we play it. Monday, we're going to be back with 2 new players, and one of them is going to be back the following Friday, going for that same $10,000 prize package. I'm Jim Peck. Remember, it's not what you say, it's what you don't say. Bye-bye, everybody.
Ralph Andrews production.
It's a Ralph Andrews production.
Jim Peck's Wardrobe by Botany 500. Copyright 1978 in association with Viacom. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. How about that for a game show? I kind of wish I'd ended on Go. Go's a lot more exciting in kind of an 80s way. I couldn't bring back that article because I didn't remember where it was. It's cracked, I guess. Let me try and do it just to try and. We got 10 minutes left here before I'm really going to sign off the air. Cracked game show cheaters. All right, let's just see if I can find that second page and see what those last. Now, here's the thing. I feel like some of those were not cheaters, especially that first guy when they talked about the guy who beat Press Your Luck. He did not cheat. He was playing within the game. That was kind of the whole point. I did a whole episode on this, and you should watch it from maybe a month ago by now. All right. Let me switch back over to the screen here, and you can see the other screen as I see it. Try to ignore the ads. I apologize for the ads. I know ads are not what anybody wants to see, but okay, here we go. Number 2, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Amount stolen, £1 million. In 2001, total dipshit Charles Ingram somehow walked away with the most money ever. It was clear during the first few questions that his mother saw the birth defect warning on cigarettes and called their bluff. This man was so dumb, he had a tattoo of an arrow on his dick to remember which direction to pee. Charles read the answers out loud, and his wife and another contestant coughed when he got to the correct one. So he just waited for the cough. And, oh, wow, this guy was actually cheating. He was cheating, was spotted before he got a chance to cash the check, and 2 years later, he was convicted of fraud and forced to pay $25,000 in fines. At the end of it, he basically funded a $38,000 ad campaign to convince the world that retarded people can be assholes. And last but not least, the dating game. This guy appeared as bachelor number 1 and lied his way to a date. Well, maybe lied is too strong, but it does seem dishonest not to tell a woman you're coming from and on your way to a murder. She chose him for his bizarrely sexual answers, like everybody didn't do that on that damn show. But when she got close, she smelled serial killer all over the guy. She refused to go on the date. She went unmurdered, and 2 sporty tennis outfits furnished by blah, blah, blah would go unclaimed. Isn't it crazy that a mass murderer, convicted rapist got past the background checks of the 1978 dating game? I mean, this is cracked, so I'm not sure if this guy was actually a serial killer, but was he really a serial killer? What was his name? Rodney Alcala. I mean, I'm not big on serial killers, but let's look at Google and go Rodney Alcala. Rodney Alcala. Again, I'm not. Oh, wait, he is. Okay. There. We can click Wikipedia, but here it is. Rodney James Alcala, convicted rapist, serial killer, sentenced to death. He comes up as though he was on the dating game. All right, so I guess, yeah, a rapist and... Okay, wow. I should do a show on criminal killing one time. Despite his status as a convicted rapist and registered sex offender, he was accepted as a contestant on the dating game. By then, he'd already killed at least 2 in California and 2 others in New York. Host Jim Lang introduced him as a successful photographer who got his start when his father found him in the dark room at the age of 13, fully developed. But God. I mean, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not sorry. That show is fucking creepy in the first place. So I don't see it as that much of a surprise that creepy-ass people snuck their way in or managed to somehow get on the show despite the background checks that they did. Because the whole thing was tinged with like 70s sleazeball grossness. Like, it was just, I just felt dirty even watching part of it. So I don't really care to elaborate too much on that. I certainly don't care to bring any of that to you. The dating game, the newlywed game, all that stuff I find campy and like lame-ass, hackneyed bullshit that we will not do on the Game Show Tuesday series of my cBaS After Dark program. I don't know what we'll do next week. I actually haven't decided yet. Sometimes I kind of have what we'll do decided. If you missed last week, do tune into last week's show if you have a chance, because last week was really good. Last week we did, let's see, part of 8 out of 10 Cats does countdown, but the alert warnings came up, and that's actually what got me cut off at the end. But we did the Riddlers game show from the 70s or 80s that was like a pilot that never made it on the air, hosted by David Letterman and a celebrity panel of 5 people, including Michael McKean and Joanne Worley. Fucking hilarious. I don't see how it could have ever been sustained because, like I say, it was all riddles. Like, they had to do riddles, and kind of the way you answer questions on these game shows, you have to answer riddles correctly. I don't think they could have written enough riddles to make that show last. Maybe they could have. If they could sustain the match game for as many years as they did, they probably could have written riddles, I guess. I mean, they would have gotten shittier and shittier as time went on, I think. Anyway, please text me. Please go ahead and tweet me or leave a comment here if you're watching on tape on the little comment thing here on YouTube, and let me know what game shows you'd like to see. We did talk about briefly the Price is Right thing that happened a couple of weeks ago, where the cute, pretty, sexy supermodel that they have, like helping Drew Carey on The Price is Right, basically gave a car to one of the contestants, and that contestant, because of how much she won, then spun the wheel and then won her way onto the Showcase Showdown, and because she kind of made her way there, she won the Showcase Showdown. I mean, it could be argued that she didn't win at all because she won that car, but like, I feel like if I was a contestant that didn't get handed a car by a stupid-ass supermodel on The Price is Right, who, by the way, did not get fired, that I'd be pretty pissed off. I'd be really pissed off if somebody got a car and then won the whole Showcase Showdown basically because this stupid slut in an evening gown. I'm sorry. She's probably not a slut. I'll probably get sued for saying that, so she's probably not a slut, but not a big fan of pretty girls in evening gowns on daytime TV, because it just seems like such a patently obvious way to keep, you know, heterosexual eyes of all ages glued to the set, no matter how crappy the show is. Price is Right is not a crappy show, and truth be told, they now have embraced one male model. They have one hot guy that'll sometimes on a jet ski or something with his shirt off. I guess I can't complain too much if I like the guy. But, you know, they've done the girl thing for 50 years and had hot girls, and they only in the past 2 years or so have added that guy. Anyway, text me, call me at the number here, tweet me at the address here, comment me, join me tomorrow night. By the way, I'll just tell you this. In case you're watching and you've made it all the way this far to the end, bless your heart, I will say this. I am working on, and I did the first test version of, a weed-themed news show, very much like this one. I just read news articles and stuff talking about the medical marijuana issue. We talked about the different 420 celebrations and around the world and the news coverage thereof. But I feel like I discovered a radio station today. It's actually something I discovered a couple of days ago. It's called K-High out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. I've decided I want to work there. And I think that, you know, I haven't smoked weed in a long, long time. And the last time I did, it was legal because I was in Denver over New Year's. But I feel like I would love to be able to present the show I heard was good, but not great. It was a guy by the name of Bubba Cushman or some bullshit, and a girl who was his sidekick who laughs at all his jokes and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, you know, it's what you imagine stoner radio would be. It's like Beavis and Butthead kind of, plus a little bit of content. He sells himself, this Bubba Cushman character, as the functional stoner. You're a functional stoner here on the radio talking about weed vending machines and dispensaries and shit like that. I'm like, man, I could do better than that with both arms tied behind my back and a ball gag in my mouth. So if you're interested at all in marijuana sort of topic, the legalization, the legal shit, the fun aspect, like tonight I talked about how Willie Nelson's starting his own brand of weed that'll be sold in dispensaries in Washington and Colorado. If you're interested at all, tune into the show I watched, or I created tonight. It's an hour long. You'll find it among the shows on my account, youtube.com/Sebastian Central. Or just tune in tomorrow. I'm doing it sort of a half hour, or the hour and a half before I do this show. I do an hour, 8:30 to 9:30 West Coast time. I take a half hour break to rest the vocal cords, and then I do an hour or an hour and a half here on the actual cBaS After Dark. So if you're at all interested, do tune in, do give me feedback. I'm interested in that. I've decided that I'm going to sort of do 5 shows worth of the weed thing and see if I can't sustain it and use those 5 shows as kind of a springboard to send to this K-High 1580 radio station in Colorado Springs and go, you know what? You don't know it yet. I'm the guy you need to have. I don't, not necessarily replacing the Bubba Cushman. It's called High Noon, this show. All of the stupid weed puns abound. But I feel like, you know, if there's anything I could do with the passion and journalism and gusto that I bring to regular topics on this show, I damn sure could do it about weed, and I could do it better than most people. So do tune in, and it's time to stop talking now. Have a great night. Have a great Wednesday. By the way, tomorrow night, what is Wednesday? Wednesday's Media Watch Wednesday. We're going to have another fun Media Watch Wednesday, kind of talking about jingles and stuff like that. I teased it last week. We'll look at exactly what I teased, so I make sure I actually make it happen for real. And have a great night. I'm Sebastian. This is cBaS After Dark.